So you can hit us up anytime. Yeah. But yeah, Mr. Samuels, guys, I'll just say this. I'm going to keep this very general. I'm not going to really go in on anybody. I understand that everybody in this world thinks differently. I get it, and that's one of the beauties of us being who we are and living in this semi-free democracy, because there's no such thing as freedom or free speech. I want everybody to know that. But, you know, I want to just say that some of these black men are y'all whack, dog. Y'all whack.
Oh, man, go in there.
Jesus.
Talk to us.
They were really exposing themselves.
Yeah.
And how just like whack they really were.
It just comes down to this, man. And I had this conversation with my girl like last week, I think, because she was like, bro, I went on y'all YouTube and saw this stuff was cracking. I was like, I appreciate it. But here's my thing, right? Mm-hmm. Men, black men, we're going to refer to you as men. You cannot, and Daryl touched on this as well, you can't have this antiquated mindset and still want to live in a modern day. You just cannot do that.
Tell them what antiquated means, sir.
Antiquated means semi-ancient, old.
Oh, okay. I like
yeah, it means it's old, you know, essentially.
That's Metamucil.
Yeah, that's Metamucil.
All right.
It's you can't have this antiquated mindset and still want to live in this new day and age and new world, man.
I agree.
Black women are doing their damn thing. This is not, you know, me, because some dudes gonna be like, oh man, he's soft, and you know, black men and men, we supposed to lead the household. And dude, you can still do that, bro. But it's not many of us that are doing it alone anymore. That's just the facts, you know. And there's nothing wrong with that. Right. Black women are going to school, they're graduating, they're making 6 figures, they're making 5 figures, however many, however much they're making in the household that they run, or that you all run together, or you partner in, or that you do what she says, whatever the case is in your house. You got to understand that black women are doing their damn thing. And y'all just gotta, all this.
So, I mean, were they like on some Al Bundy shit? Like, I'm trying to, oh, my bad.
You good?
Yeah.
Well, we got a variety of different comments. However, a lot of these men were basically like bouncing off of one another.
Okay. The Woman Haters Club.
Yeah. Okay. He-Man Woman Haters.
He-Man. Oh, you know about that.
Fucking little rascals, right? So one man, Cedric Earl, I'll let y'all go and look at
damn, you calling out names.
I mean, we want to give them credit for their comments, right?
Schweinegel.
She has a weave, fake nails, and bedazzled phone case. Also, baby daddy. That was his full comment. Women need to stop calling, I'm assuming they meant men, misogynistic for saying things they don't like. He was honest with her based on the information she gave and what she said she wanted. Nothing he said was hateful or demeaning towards women. That was from Lincoln. I was also told, if you haven't watched the full clip, you don't have a full understanding how he laid it out to this woman. It's available on YouTube. Check it out and revisit this topic. So they just really, I think, be wanting me to shut up, but I'm not going to do that.
Never.
But we did have, it was a lot of like deep going back and forth. You know, women were chiming in, men were chiming in. Men were really just kind of mad. Of course, they was mad at me for even having an opinion about it. But one comment,
even you, Harlem,
even me, Harlem, right? So Antoinette Green said, first, there is truth in what he is saying. If you want a certain type of man, you have to be what they like and want, mentally, physically, and emotionally. You have to be realistic. Second, ladies, why are we calling a complete stranger and asking of his opinion about us? Stop placing our value based on others' opinions. Third, 100K ain't nothing, especially if that person has a lot of debt, kids, paying spousal support, etc. In my line of work, I've seen doctors, lawyers, and politicians make money and always broke. You never really know. Lastly, Kevin is questionable and egotistical. He was brutal. Yes, she called him her fault, and I agree with him to an extent, but she never did anything to him. Hurt his family, slept with his partner, so why be so hurtful? My best guess is insecurities. We all have them, and ego. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. The amount of brothers I've seen enjoying Kevin destroy this already low self-esteem woman is disheartening. There is no kindness in this world.
End quote. Antoinette really hit on some points there. I rock with that. Antoinette, we appreciate it.
She definitely did.
I gotta give it.
I'd also just want to shout out. His name is Pleasure Daddy.
Yo, what's up with these names? Boy, we get
Pleasure
I can't
Daddy.
remember who it was.
I just want y'all to go and just look at his profile photo a little bit later. You should watch the full clip, not the edited clip. He wasn't as harsh as they made it seem. Also, she screwed herself by saying she felt she couldn't submit to a man that made less than 6 figures. That's the equivalent of a man saying he felt like he couldn't provide for a woman unless she at least had D-sized breasts, or he felt like he couldn't protect a woman unless she had a big butt. The realest one, I feel like I can't provide for a woman that already has a child. If her actually submitting to her feminine role in a relationship is predicated on the amount of a paycheck and not my character, then I don't mind predicating my provider and protector role on her external attractiveness. Let me tell you something. Men that say shit like that have to get women based on their paycheck. So just as much as men try to, come at us for how we look and what our expectations are or whatever the case may be, you have to make a certain amount of money in order for a woman that even looks like this lady who was on the phone with them to even give you the time of day. Let's be realistic here. Nobody wants to date somebody that nobody else wants. So if you ugly, guess what? We're not gonna look at you twice. So you should have a nice bank account. Do I feel like I'm the most beautiful woman in the world? No. But I'm not gonna relax my standards just because society or a group of black men feel that my standards are too high. We still on this. These comments were disgusting. And it only furthered my opinion and the thought that black men do not protect black women because some black woman somewhere, whether it was mommy, grandma, girlfriend, baby mama, really truly hurt them. Y'all got us fucked up. Damn. And I'll be 100% transparent. I was having a conversation with my male best friend about who I'm dating or whatever. And it's no secret. He got money. My best friend says, what does he want with you?
Wait a minute. What happened? I missed everything. Okay, so elaborate.
He said he's rich.
Okay.
What does he want with you?
I mean, that's a
That was
question.
some fucked up shit.
Yeah.
I haven't talked to him since.
Rich dudes date women that, are not in their space financially all the time. How many times do you hear that story? Now, the thing is, you very rarely hear it the other way around. But
Sure.
that's not what we're addressing, right? But it's like, you hear that story all the time. Kanye got Amber Rose off a damn stage. Bruh, this happens every single day.
And maybe he, not to get in your business, but maybe he didn't lead himself to you or y'all connected even based off of anything that has to deal with his bread.
And that's exactly the case.
Because you're not walking around here broke either. Not to put your financial business out there.
Not at all.
You
not
eating.
In the
he
least.
eating, you eating.
Eating well.
Yeah, so, that was very shallow.
Yeah, but that just lets us know that, or lets me know, men really do think like this. It doesn't matter who you are. This was my best friend.
Right.
I was
So can I ask
away.
you a question about your best friend? Is that best friend rich or doing financially well? Okay.
She took a sip, y'all.
Enough said.
She took a sip.
So
That's wild. I thought I missed something. I had to laugh. I was like, wait a minute, what do we?
I'm looking at Harlem and I'm just like,
how the story go there?
That was but that's the mindset of
Right.
these men that were in these comments as well. Why would a man who makes a certain amount of money, and let's be clear, 6 figures can be anywhere from 100,000,
That was in the comments.
like all the way, like you know,
Yeah.
people. I think people are kind of dumb,
Right.
but that's like a base salary. Like just because your salary says you make $100,000 a year, doesn't mean that that's what you gross.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
See, this thing to me is it's so complex because it's almost like it's a building with many doors. You know what I'm saying? Like, what door are you going to enter? Are we talking about financial value, self-value, the status of these relationships? To be honest, you know, with what Kevin Samuel was talking to these women or whatever, to me it seems like, and this may be weird, but it's almost like, you know, it's synonymous with prostitution. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, you got to be like this to get with this type of dude. And if you really listen to other things that he say, he like, yo, by the third date, y'all should be smashing. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what I'm saying. This thing is way more expansive than just this particular clip. Now, I've listened to the whole thing. Like I said on the other episode, the sister solicited information from, you know, the ideas, the thoughts, the mindset of one Kevin Samuels, who apparently is the spokesperson for men of high value, which is weird to me in itself. You know what I'm saying? If I'm being honest, like, why don't we just get the person who truly has X amount of dollars and so on and so forth? We're actually going off of your word that you hang with these people. And you see, you got to be a critical thinker in these situations. But let's say that that's the case. Okay, I always like to look at the end game. So with the particular sister, is it that you're making 6 figures a year? You get with somebody who's making 6 figures a year because you don't want to get with somebody who's making less than you. And believe it or not, fellas, I understand your pain, but I also understand where she's coming from too.
Yep.
Come back on that later. But it's like, what's the end game? Now you got 6 figures, he got 6 figures, and now it's a perfectly happy ending?
No.
One thing people don't trip off of, I heard one brother from Brooklyn, I can't remember his name right now, but he was speaking on it, and he was just saying, it's kind of like we're just stopping at the fact that you're this type of woman who wants to get this type of high value man. But we never really research these high value men in the sense of like, and I think, Harlem, you said something like this too. Like, are they psychologically sane? Why don't they have wives? Why don't they have women? Are they just like, I'm just waiting for somebody to be able to qualify for me? That in itself, to me, says a lot. You know what I'm saying? But that's when I would encourage people, if you're really that butthurt about it or upset, just be more of a critical thinker about it. Because sometimes shit, that could be you hopping out of the frying pan and into the fire.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Or are we basing this straight off of finances? So if your worth is based on what type of money you make, you know what I'm saying? Okay, let's go deeper. Do you make your own bread, or are you still saying yes, sir? You know what I'm saying? Okay, you got your own business. 9 times out of 10, do you even have time for a relationship, or is she just a fuck piece?
Yep. I'm with you.
Like, these are things that I personally just think about. But a lot of times you have guys, I've been one of these guys, so I'm going to speak up for y'all. I'm going to save y'all some face. It's guys who don't believe in themselves financially. So
I used to be one of those guys.
me too. I definitely was. Shit, for good reason.
Yeah, go ahead.
So if it's a sister, a woman who in her mindset of actually being with someone, and I want to talk about that word submission too, because, you know, everything from, you know, how people speak about scripture to whatever, that a woman is supposed to submit to a man based on the natural order of things. Now, the definition of submission is pretty deep. Okay, we'll come back to that. But my thing is this. Fellas, if you're not making the type of bread you feel comfortable with, then I don't even think you should be in this conversation. You need to be getting to a point that you're getting that bread that you want to get. You know what I'm saying?
Preach.
Number one. Number two, okay, you doing what you do, and it's a sister who's like, hey, I'm looking for marriage, I'm this, that, and the third. To me, this is what security looks like. Now, if it's a sister who's saying, oh, you got to make 6 figures, this, that, and that, would I raise an eyebrow? I might. But then again, at the same time, that's her. You know what I'm saying? Not every woman thinks that. Not every woman, not whatever. Everybody's their own individual. But the thing is, when it comes to that kind of stuff, it's like, just like you may have certain standards and so on and so forth. For a woman, either she matches them or she doesn't. If she doesn't, you move the fuck on. But when it's this whole thing like, oh, she shouldn't be like this and she shouldn't be like that and blah, blah, blah. I mean, I understand to a certain extent, but at the end of the day, what does it have to do with you? You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And that's how, but then on the flip side of that, that's why the homegirl who went to talk to Kevin Samuels, you know what I'm saying? And I think even her post comments was like, well, yeah, you know, I did ask him and this, that, and the third or whatever. Her value was based on this man holding the key to what she wanted. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Bitter doses. So it's one of them things like, man, it's just kind of like, because I'm kind of going into the weeds, but
You good?
at the end of the day,
You always do
The
this.
sisters gonna be like, oh my God, you love Rashad.
yeah, I mean, that's what I do. But it always, hold on, I'm gonna say you always do it, but it always makes sense in the end.
Alan, shut the fuck up.
Right.
Stop hating while I'm
Stop
shit.
hating. He's always in the weeds. He could be in my weeds.
Yeah.
But anyway, no, but seriously though, man, like at the end of the day, you got to live your life. We all have opinions.